Long ago, in the farthest reaches of the galaxy, there was a legend that even the oldest stars whispered about. It spoke of a massive metal hatch, floating alone in the black void of space. The hatch was ancient, older than any known civilization, and it had strange markings carved into its surface, warnings written in languages no one had ever seen before. Some said it came from a civilization that vanished long before the first humans even dreamed of the stars. Others believed it was a trap set by a forgotten race of beings, designed to lure explorers to their doom. One day, a group of brave space travelers known as the Celestial Seekers stumbled upon it. They had journeyed far, crossing countless star systems and dodging cosmic storms, but nothing had prepared them for this discovery. The hatch was a massive, gleaming door, unlike anything they had ever encountered. Its surface shimmered with an eerie glow, and it seemed to pulse with a strange energy, as if it was alive. The Seekers were hesitant, knowing the legends. Yet, their curiosity pulled them closer. As they studied the hatch, strange symbols began to shift across its surface, moving in ways that didn't make sense. Then, without warning, the hatch began to open, slowly at first, and then faster, as if it had been waiting for them all along. But as it creaked open, a deep, rumbling sound filled the air, echoing through space. And with it, the warnings carved into the hatch came alive, warning the Seekers that they had disturbed something far greater than they could imagine. They were no longer alone in the vastness of space. Something ancient and powerful had awoken. As the hatch continued to open, the Seekers watched in awe and terror. The opening revealed a dark, swirling void inside, darker than any black hole, yet somehow not empty. Within it, faint glimmers of forgotten stars shimmered, and the air felt thick, like it had not been disturbed in eons. The crew members exchanged uneasy glances, knowing that the very fabric of space seemed to bend and twist around them. Suddenly, a cold voice echoed in their minds, ancient and distant. It wasn't a language any of them understood, but somehow, they all grasped its meaning, a warning. The voice spoke of the bold ones, beings who had once ruled the galaxy before they vanished, leaving behind nothing but ruins and forgotten stories. It told them that the hatch was not just a doorway, but a prison. A prison for something that was never meant to be freed. The Seekers tried to step back, but the hatch opened wider, and they were pulled inside by an invisible force. They found themselves standing in a vast chamber, its walls adorned with strange symbols, some glowing faintly and others covered in thick layers of dust. As they ventured further, the very air seemed to hum with energy, and distant whispers filled their ears, growing louder and louder with each step. Suddenly, the chamber's center flickered to life. An ancient artifact, glowing with an unearthly light, hovered above the ground. It was a crystal, perfectly cut, yet pulsing with power. The crystal's energy radiated outward, and for a moment, the Seekers were frozen in place, caught in its mesmerizing glow. Then, in a flash of light, the crystal cracked open, releasing a terrible force. The Seekers fell to their knees, their minds assaulted by visions of alien landscapes, forgotten civilizations, and strange, terrifying creatures. They saw the old ones, their eyes empty and soulless, watching from the edges of the galaxy. And in that moment, they understood, the hatch was not just a prison, it was a gateway to something far older and more dangerous than anything they had ever known. The chamber trembled as the crystal shattered completely, sending a shockwave through the air. The Seekers struggled to stand, their bodies weak and their minds reeling from the visions they had just witnessed. The whispers grew louder, now an unbearable cacophony of voices, some crying out in agony, others speaking in strange, indecipherable tongues. It was as if the very walls of the hatch were alive, filled with the suffering of ancient souls who had once been trapped within. In the center of the room, a dark figure began to materialize. It was tall and imposing, its form shifting like liquid shadow, flickering between different shapes. Its face was blank, an emptiness that seemed to absorb all light. As it solidified, it reached out a hand toward the Seekers, and in its touch, the galaxy seemed to warp and bend. A deep voice, colder than the void itself, filled their minds. You have awakened the last of us, the ones who were forgotten. And now, you shall see the truth of the cosmos. The figure's voice carried the weight of countless millennia. It spoke of the old ones, beings who had once ruled the stars, shaping entire worlds, bending the very laws of reality to their will. But in their arrogance, they had delved too deep, awakened something even older and more powerful than they could comprehend. It had consumed them, leaving only the whispers in the void. The hatch, they realized, was never meant to be opened. It had been sealed away to protect the galaxy from the chaos that had once been unleashed. And now that it was open, the curse of the old ones would spread once more. As the Seekers stood, frozen in terror, the figure raised its hand. The walls of the hatch began to pulse, the symbols shifting once more. A bright, blinding light flooded the chamber, and the Seekers felt themselves being pulled toward the figure, their minds slipping into darkness. But just as they thought they would be consumed by the void, the light suddenly vanished. Silence. The figure, the whispers, the ancient horrors, they were gone. The hatch began to close slowly, as if nothing had happened, leaving only a lingering sense of dread. The Seekers, shaken but alive, stumbled back toward their ship, their hearts heavy with the weight of what they had unleashed. The legend of the cosmic hatch would continue, passed from one space traveler to another, a warning of what lay beyond the stars. And though the hatch had closed once more, they knew that the mysteries of the old ones were far from over. The universe was vast, and its secrets, both wondrous and terrifying, were waiting to be uncovered by those brave enough to seek them. And so, the tale of the cosmic hatch lived on, its legend eternally etched into the fabric of space, a reminder that some doors, once opened, should never be closed.